what's up guys, it's Lucas and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, scroll down, click the subscribe button. Bleh. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Scroll down, click the subscribe button, really helps me out. And also, if you click the notification bell, you'll get updates every time I upload a new video. When we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a set of Planet Tone 1959 special humbuckers. So all you need to do is be subscribed and leave a comment on that video. I will leave a link to that video in the description. So today we're checking out the Revv G4 pedal from the fine folks at Revv Amplification in Canada. This is an ultra high gain, super saturated, gnarly sounding distortion pedal that is meant to kind of evoke / mimic the sound of the fourth channel, the red channel, on their generator amplifier, which is a very popular high gain amplifier. So you may have seen I did a video before on the G3 pedal, and that's a great sounding pedal as well. And this is kind of not really the same thing. It has a similar type feel, but it's a little bit kind of different in the way it's structured. So it has the same control set. It has bass, middle, and treble, a volume control, and a gain control, and then it has a 3-position switch for aggression. In the middle position it's off, in the up position it's in the blue mode, which is kind of like, to me, sounds like putting a tube screamer in front of it. And in the red position it's super distorted, like it's just being hammered in the front end. So today we're going to be using my PRS Tremonti Signature. This guitar has the PRS metal pickups in it, which are very high output. And we're going to be playing this straight into the front of, you can see it over here in the corner, the Monoprice Stage Right 15 tube amplifier. I have all of the knobs set at noon except for the gain control, which I have set as far down as it will go, and the master volume set as far up as it will go. So this is basically about as clean as I can get the amplifier, you know, without just running it into the effects return, which we'll do as well. Alright, so this is going to be our clean, unaffected tone. I say clean, it's going to be breaking up a little bit because, as I said, these are very hot pickups. But without turning the pedal on, it sounds like this. Alright, now we're going to engage the Revv G4 pedal. So I have everything on the pedal set at noon, and I have the switch in the off position. The only thing that is set higher is the volume control, because I'm trying to achieve unity gain with these very hot pickups. So that sounds something like this. First off, and then I'll click it on. So even in a very just kind of stock, everything sort of straight up type position, this pedal is very aggressive and extremely high gain and saturated and nasty sounding. It's got a lot of growl. It reminds me a lot of like a triple rectifier. It's not got quite as tight a bottom end as the G3 pedal does to my ears. It's a little bit looser, but it's also extremely like crunchy, like less kind of smooth. It's more aggressive and gnarly sounding. It's a great rhythm, like kind of metal pedal. So let's kind of just go through and play with some of the settings a little bit. So first thing I'll do is I will turn the gain all the way down and leave everything else at noon, save for the volume control. And so you can kind of hear the range of the gain as I sweep through it. now that we've gone through the sweep of the gain control, I put the gain back at the lowest setting, and I'm going to flip through the switch positions on the aggression switch. And I put it in the lowest setting because I think this is the easiest way to hear what the switch is doing. Because as you start adding in more gain, it becomes less of a sound thing and more of a feel thing. But in this position, you can kind of actually hear how much kind of front end push is being added to the amp. So you can hear as you start applying either the blue or the red setting on the aggression switch, it kind of starts tightening it up, much the same way you would put an overdrive in front of a high gain amplifier or a high gain pedal to kind of like suck up just a little bit of the bottom end and kind of make it tighter, and it kind of does this throaty thing to the low mids where it really just makes the rhythm stuff just hit you in the rib cage, and it sounds really good. So now let's go ahead and play with some of the settings on the pedal. So I'll bump the gain up into a spot where it feels kind of good to me, and then I'll start messing with the EQ controls. Once again, without it. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what all the controls do. And again, the volume, you kind of just have to find wherever your pickups are driving the front of your amp and kind of set it in that ballpark if you want. So for me, with these hot pickups, it's set up pretty high, but if you have pickups that are lower output, it might be more in the kind of 12 o'clock area. So the next thing we're going to do, because this is a popular way to use this type of pedal, is we're going to run this directly into the effects return of that same amp. So we're going to be bypassing the preamp and just using this as our preamp. So let's hook that up. All right, so now we're going directly into the effects return, or the basically the power amp of our little stage right amp. And so it's not the most glorious clean sound in the world because you're not getting any preamp flavor with it, but that sounds like this. Okay, so now we're going to turn on the Revv pedal, and now we're using the Revv as a preamp. And keep in mind that depending on how your amp is set up and whether or not there's a master volume control that governs strictly the power section, you may have to really crank the volume on the pedal or use another pedal after this to just give you some additional volume. But in this case, this is, you know, pretty usable. So there you go, that's the Revv G4 pedal. It's an extremely awesome, super throaty and aggressive, saturated distortion sound. It works great as a pedal into the front end of a clean amp. It works even better, I think, as a preamp. So if you run it directly into the back end of an amp, or if you run it into an interface and use like a speaker simulation, like an impulse response, sounds really great for that too. But anyway, thanks to the folks at Revv for sending me this to check out, and also this cool hat, which I will be wearing. And until next time, I will catch you later.